All right, so you ready to really dig into Rich Dad, Poor Dad?
Always ready for some Kiyosaki.
I know you've already read it.
Yeah.
But we're going to sort of like explore some of the deeper implications of Kiyosaki's ideas and how they can be applied to your situation and your goals.
Yeah.
And we've got some pretty cool excerpts, actually, from the 2024 audiobook to work with here.
That's awesome. I'm excited to hear these.
Yeah.
I always feel like revisiting Kiyosaki, even when you think, you know his work inside and out.
Right.
Challenges you to kind of reassess your own financial beliefs. And you mentioned you want to build wealth.
Mm-hmm.
And Kiyosaki really forces you to question those conventional ideas about money.
Right.
You know, like the whole get a good job, save, invest in a 401k narrative.
Totally. Yeah, it's like he throws a wrench in that whole system.
He does.
I remember when I first read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, it was a real wake-up call.
Oh, yeah.
It made me question everything I thought I knew about money.
It's a total paradigm shift.
Yeah. And his first lesson, the rich don't work for money, still throws people off.
It does.
So what are your thoughts on that concept?
It's not about literally not working.
Right.
It's about shifting your focus.
Okay.
Instead of trading your time for a paycheck, the goal is to build assets that generate income independent of your direct effort.
Got it.
So you're not, constantly trading time for money. You're letting the money work for you.
So almost like multiple income streams.
Exactly. Yeah. Creating those multiple income streams.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So how does that actually work? I mean, I have a job.
Sure.
I need that paycheck.
Of course. And having a job is important.
Right.
It's only one piece of the puzzle.
Right.
But Kiyosaki's point is you need to be building that asset column alongside that job.
Okay.
Things that put money in your pocket, not just take it out.
Right.
And he has that great story about his rich dad making him work for almost nothing as a kid to teach him this lesson.
10 cents an hour.
Yes.
Exactly. It's a pretty powerful image. Like,
it is.
Even as a kid, you're realizing that trading your time for this very limited amount of money is not the path to wealth.
It's not the way to get rich.
Yeah.
You know, and it's understanding that your earning potential is not limited to what you can earn in a traditional job.
Right.
That's where the concept of financial literacy comes in.
Yeah.
Which he really emphasizes in his second lesson. It's not just about making money.
Yeah.
But understanding how money works.
Right. It's about mastering the rules of the game.
Exactly.
So you can actually win.
Absolutely.
And he makes a point, too, about how most people unknowingly work for others.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the government through taxes, banks through mortgages. Even that daily coffee can be seen as working for someone else's benefit.
It's all about where that money is going.
Exactly.
And are you in control of that flow?
Yeah.
Or is it controlling you?
Are you aware of it even?
Exactly.
And he has that great analogy of the skyscraper.
Yes.
And the 6-inch slab.
Love that one.
You can't build a strong financial future on a shaky foundation.
You can't. It'll crumble.
Yeah. And that foundation is financial literacy.
Yeah, it is.
It's about learning to manage money, understand investments, identify and leverage opportunities.
Absolutely.
Which kind of leads right into his core concept, the difference between assets and liabilities.
Such a fundamental concept.
Yeah.
And one that a lot of people get wrong. Remember, an asset puts money in your pocket, while a liability takes money out.
Right. And he gets a bit controversial here.
He does.
Because he argues that for many people, their house is actually a liability.
Oh, yeah. That's the one that gets people talking.
Yeah. That's the part that always gets people talking.
For sure.
But he makes a valid point.
Yeah.
If you're constantly pouring money into mortgage payments,
property taxes, maintenance, is your house really building wealth?
Yeah. It might be providing you with a place to live.
Right.
Which is important.
Of course.
But it's not necessarily generating income. And that's a key distinction.
Okay. So if we're thinking about building wealth,
how
do we start identifying those income-generating assets?
Well, his third lesson, mind your own business. He dives into that.
Okay.
He uses the example of Ray Kroc.
And
McDonald's.
Right.
But not for the love of hamburgers.
Right.
But for the real estate aspect.
Right. It was the real estate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was the real asset.
Okay.
The land that those McDonald's were sitting on.
So it's about seeing the bigger picture, understanding how wealth is generated, and figuring out how to apply those principles to your own life.
Exactly.
I guess the question for you then is, are you building your own financial future? Or are you primarily contributing to someone else's?
That's the question everyone should ask themselves.
Yeah.
Are you working to build someone else's asset column?
Right.
Or are you creating your own?
Okay.
It's all about ownership.
Got it.
And control.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got these core concepts like working to build assets and not just for a paycheck, understanding how money works, building that solid financial foundation.
Right.
But how does that translate into actually creating wealth?
Yeah. That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is.
Well, Kiyosaki's fourth lesson, the history of taxes and the power of corporations. That's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
He gets into some pretty controversial territory here.
Right.
He basically calls the tax man the biggest bully.
Yeah.
And he's a big advocate for understanding how corporations can be used to your advantage, especially when it comes to taxes.
Right. And that's the stuff that can feel a bit overwhelming.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if you're not coming from a business background.
I know.
Yeah.
It can be intimidating.
Yeah. What's the key takeaway for someone who's maybe just starting to think about building wealth?
I think the key takeaway is that the tax system is designed in a way that benefits those who understand it. It's not about evading taxes.
Right.
It's about legally and ethically using the system to protect and grow your wealth.
So it's more about financial intelligence than anything else.
Exactly. Kiyosaki emphasizes that the wealthy, they don't just accept their tax burden passively.
Okay.
They actively seek ways to minimize their taxes within the legal framework.
Right.
And corporations are often a key part of that strategy.
Okay. And this ties back to the idea of minding your own business from his third lesson, right?
Absolutely.
It's about creating a structure that works for you, not just working within a structure that benefits someone else.
Exactly. Taking control of your financial destiny.
Okay.
Yeah. And it leads right into his fifth lesson, The Rich Invent Money, where he highlights this difference in mindset between those who create wealth and those who get left behind. He contrasts Alexander Graham Bell, boldly selling his telephone patent with a worker facing downsizing, begging for his job.
Yeah, it's a stark difference.
It is a stark difference.
Yeah.
One is in control, one is not.
It really emphasizes that proactive approach, right?
It does.
It's like recognizing opportunities and having the courage to act on them.
Yeah. And the inventing money part, it's not about some magic formula.
Right.
It's about applying financial knowledge and strategies to create value where others might not see it. He tells this great story about buying a property for $1.2 million.
Okay.
But he only put down a $100,000 deposit.
Wow.
And flipped it without even raising the full amount.
Okay.
So it's about strategy.
So it's not always about having a ton of money to start with.
Not at all.
It's about leveraging what you have
Exactly.
and being smart about it.
Absolutely.
That's where the work to learn, don't work for money philosophy from his sixth lesson comes in.
Yeah. He's a big advocate for lifelong learning. Always taking courses, reading, attending seminars.
He actually left promising corporate jobs to pursue opportunities that would allow him to learn and grow.
He didn't see a job as the solution.
Right.
He saw it as a potential stepping stone on the path to building his own businesses.
Right. So thinking about your own career, are you acquiring skills that will serve you in the long run?
Yeah.
Or are you working to learn?
It's an important question to consider. Are you gaining valuable experience, building your network, developing skills that you can apply to your own ventures?
Right.
Or are you just stuck in a routine that doesn't really contribute to your long-term goals?
Okay.
Kiyosaki highlights the importance of developing strong management skills.
Yeah.
Cash flow systems, people management. These are essential.
Yeah.
Whether you're an entrepreneur or not.
And he doesn't just focus on the technical skills. He also talks about the importance of soft skills.
Yeah.
Like sales, marketing, communication, negotiation.
Absolutely. All those things.
These are skills that can be applied in any field.
Exactly.
So you've got to be well-rounded.
You do.
Right.
Kiyosaki's also a big believer in teaching and giving back. He says the more you give, the more you receive.
Yeah.
And that applies to knowledge and experience as much as it does to money.
But like that saying, a rising tide lifts all boats.
Exactly.
So even as you're building your own wealth, you're also helping others to do the same.
It's not a zero-sum game.
Right.
There's enough abundance to go around.
Okay. But of course, there are obstacles on this path to financial freedom.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Kiyosaki talks about 5 key obstacles.
Okay.
Fear, cynicism, laziness, bad habits, and arrogance.
Right.
And these can trip up even the most financially literate people.
Absolutely. Human nature is a powerful force.
Yeah. So let's break those down.
Okay.
What's the first one? Fear.
Fear, especially the fear of losing money. It's a natural human emotion.
It is.
Everyone experiences it, even the wealthy.
Yeah.
But Kiyosaki emphasizes it's how you manage that fear that makes the difference.
Do you let it paralyze you?
Yeah.
Or do you use it as motivation to
So
learn and become more strategic?
He encourages us to think like a Texan,
Okay.
to be bold,
Yeah.
to embrace risk.
I like that. Don't be afraid to go big.
Yeah, and to understand that failure is a part of the process.
Okay. What about cynicism?
Okay.
How does that play into it?
Cynicism can really blind you to opportunities.
Okay.
It can lead you to focus on the negative and dismiss potentially profitable ventures without giving them proper consideration.
So are you a critic or an analyzer?
That's the question.
Okay.
Are you letting cynicism hold you back from taking action and exploring new possibilities?
Okay. So we got fear, cynicism. What about laziness? I'm guessing he's not just talking about like physical laziness here.
No, he's not. He's talking about mental laziness.
Okay.
The unwillingness to educate yourself about personal finance and investing. The reliance on outdated information and conventional wisdom.
So are you actively learning and expanding your financial knowledge?
Exactly.
Or are you just coasting along hoping for the best?
Are you challenging your assumptions?
Right.
Are you seeking out new information?
Okay. And then there are bad habits.
Oh, yeah. Those are sneaky.
Yeah.
One of those common, Kiyosaki points out, is dipping into savings to cover expenses. The wealthy see savings as a tool for creating more money.
Right.
Not for paying bills.
It's like raiding your future to cover your present.
Exactly.
Not a great long-term strategy.
Not at all. And another bad habit is paying yourself last.
Oh, yeah.
Kiyosaki advocates for paying yourself first, even if it's a small amount.
Right.
It creates a sense of priority.
Okay.
And it sets the tone for your financial decisions.
So it's about putting your financial well-being first.
Exactly.
Not letting it be an afterthought.
Right.
Okay. And finally, we have arrogance.
Yes, arrogant.
This is the trap of believing you know everything, even when you don't.
It prevents you from seeking advice from experts and learning from your mistakes.
So how do you avoid that?
I think it's about being open to learning from others, recognizing that you don't have all the answers,
Okay.
and being willing to admit when you're wrong.
So it's about humility,
Yeah,
not arrogance.
exactly.
Okay. So we've covered the obstacles.
They have.
But what about the practical steps?
Okay.
How do you actually get started on the path to financial freedom?
Well, Kiyosaki outlines 10 specific steps in the book,
Okay.
and we'll dive into those right after this.
Okay, so we've talked about the mindset shifts and the potential pitfalls.
Right.
But now let's get into the nitty-gritty.
Yeah. Let's get practical.
Kiyosaki lays out these 10 steps to really get started on this path to financial freedom.
He does. He gives you a roadmap.
So what's the first step?
The first step is find a reason greater than reality.
Okay.
It's about identifying your why,
Okay.
your driving force for wanting to achieve financial freedom.
Right.
Because without a strong why, it's easy to lose motivation when things get tough.
Sure. You need that driving force.
You do. It's like having that North Star,
Right.
that guiding principle that keeps you on track.
So if you're thinking about your own financial goals,
Yeah.
what's that deep-seated reason that's pushing you forward?
What's bigger than just wanting more money?
Exactly.
What legacy do you want to leave?
Okay, so once you have that why, it's about making those daily choices that align with that goal.
It is. Every financial decision you make,
Right.
from big investments to that daily coffee, should be moving you closer to your objective.
It's about being intentional with your money,
Yes. Be mindful.
not just letting it slip through your fingers.
Exactly.
Okay, which leads into his third step. Choose friends carefully.
Oh, this is an interesting one.
Yeah, and he's not saying ditch your friends who aren't wealthy,
Right.
but to be mindful of the company you keep.
Yeah. Are the people you surround yourself with inspiring you to grow financially?
Right.
Or are their beliefs and habits holding you back?
It's about surrounding yourself with those positive influences. People who are on a similar path or who have already achieved what you're aiming for.
Mentors, people you can learn from.
Exactly. And their energy and their mindset, it can be contagious.
Absolutely. You become who you spend time with.
So true. Okay. Step 4, master a formula and then learn a new one.
This is all about continuous learning.
Okay.
And adaptation. The financial landscape is always changing.
Right.
So you need to be willing to evolve your strategies.
So are you staying up to date on financial trends?
Yeah.
Are you open to new ideas and approaches?
It's about having that growth mindset, that third for knowledge.
Okay. And then, of course, we come back to step 5, which we've touched on before.
Pay yourself first.
It bears repeating because it's such a fundamental shift in thinking.
It's about putting your financial well-being above all else.
Okay. And step 6 builds on that. Pay your brokers well.
Yeah. This is about recognizing the value of expert advice.
Okay.
A good financial advisor, accountant, or broker can save you time and money in the long run.
It's like investing in your financial future.
It is.
Don't be afraid to seek out professional guidance.
Absolutely.
Step 7 is a bit more unconventional. Be an Indian giver.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
This is a classic Kiyosakiism.
Yeah. What does he mean by that?
Well, it's about being strategic with your investments.
Okay.
Look for opportunities where you can get your initial investment back quickly while still retaining control of the asset.
So it's not always about buying and holding.
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's about leveraging your assets to acquire more assets.
Okay, even if it means selling something to reinvest the profits elsewhere.
So being creative and opportunistic.
Exactly.
What about step 8?
Step 8, use assets to buy luxuries.
Okay.
This is about enjoying the fruits of your labor.
Right.
But the key here is that you're using the income generated from your assets,
Okay.
not your savings, or worse, going into debt.
Right. So reward yourself responsibly.
Exactly. Build that solid financial foundation first. Then enjoy the luxuries that come with it.
Got it. Okay. Step 9.
Step 9, choose heroes.
So find inspiration.
Yeah. Who are your financial role models?
Right.
Who do you admire for their financial success?
It could be someone you know personally or a well-known figure.
Exactly.
Study their habits.
Learn from their mistakes.
Let their success inspire you.
Absolutely.
And finally, we come back to that idea of giving back.
Teach and you shall receive. Sharing your knowledge and experience helps others.
Of course.
But it also reinforces your own understanding.
And often opens up new opportunities.
It's about creating that cycle of abundance, not just for yourself, but for others as well.
Exactly.
So we covered a lot of ground today.
We did.
With these 10 steps.
A lot of wisdom in those steps.
It's a roadmap. It's a framework for thinking about building wealth.
And it all comes back to those core principles we discussed earlier.
Right. Financial literacy.
Financial literacy.
Building assets.
Building assets.
Mastering money, not letting it master you.
That's the key.
And Kiyosaki says, it's not about how much money you make,
right,
but how much you keep.
Exactly.
And how many generations you keep it.
It's a long game.
Yeah. He encourages you to think about those different types of income.
Earned, portfolio, passive.
Where are you focusing your efforts?
Yeah.
And how can you start creating those passive income streams that work for you even while you sleep?
That's the dream, isn't it?
It is. It's about building a sustainable financial future, one that provides you with freedom and security for years to come.
Absolutely.
So what will you do today to start taking control of your finances and build the life you desire?
Go out there and make it happen.
Until next time, happy investing.